ladies. Welcome to your tarot reading for the full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio coming up on the night between May 5th and May 6th. This is a lunar eclipse in Scorpio on this full moon, and we are going to do a little tarot card pull to see what is going on, what the energy is, what we need to do, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to shuffle and talk about this full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio while I shuffle. We're going to be using a traditional Rider-Waite deck today, and then my favorite oracle deck ever, Postcards from Liminal Space. But yeah, I'm going to shuffle and tell you about what the energy is, and then we're going to get into it. So this is a full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio. This is not a total lunar eclipse, so it's not a blood moon, but it is a pre-umbral eclipse. Scorpio is a water sign. Scorpio in the tarot is ruled by death and the Tower, so transformative energy for sure, endings, closures, transformations. We are also currently in a Mercury retrograde as of today, the day that I am filming this. It is a Pluto retrograde, and then again eclipse season. Now, eclipse season is essentially a portal that puts us where we need to be. And on that note, the victory card just came floating out. This is the Six of Wands, so we're just going to go ahead and keep that. Victory, hopefully, after this eclipse, because this one is a doozy. Again, in Scorpio, it is definitely intense. And as I'm saying that, the devil came out, what I wrote down, the notes I actually have written down are: face your shadows, release the stigma of having a shadow. We're all humans. We all have this shadow self inside of us. And this full moon in Scorpios might ask us to kind of face that shadow and release what no longer serves us. In the body, Scorpio rules the hips, the sacral area, the reproductive organs. Again, endings, closures, transformations, sudden changes might happen under this eclipse. It's going to be heavy. Scorpio, a water sign, lots of emotions, and then the eclipse just kind of high powers all of that. And then the retrogrades that we have going on are causing communication issues, the kind of classic Mercury retrograde, your ex comes back kind of thing. Mercury retrograde in itself is a time of reflection and revisiting kind of these old lessons that we didn't learn. So that's why some things from the past might be coming up again. And then again, with this eclipse, it's like you need to let those things go. Again, this portal was open under the new moon in Aries / solar eclipse that we had last month. And this is kind of the closing of that portal. So it's wrapping it up. It's ending its closure. It is the final release. So all that being said, again, we already have the Six of Wands out. The devil just came out. We're going to pull a few more cards and see what we need to know for this lunar eclipse in Scorpio. And hopefully get some advice, get some answers, figure out what we got to do. This is definitely the vibe. Ten of Swords is kind of how we're feeling right now. It's okay. We're working through it. On the bright side, the Ten of Swords is indeed an ending. It is the end of the Swords cycle. The tarot goes from the Ace to the 10, and the 10s usually mean that is kind of the end of that cycle. So what else do we need to know with this full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio? What's going on? Usually chaos mode works, where I just kind of shuffle until the cards fall out, but sometimes it doesn't want to work. And I feel like we're in heavy chaos right now with the eclipses and the retrogrades, so maybe we need to pull the old-fashioned way. We'll see. Take a nice deep breath for me. Focus on your intention, what you're hoping to get out of this reading. All right, we're going to go ahead and pull the old-fashioned way. All right, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So we love to see it. We love to see ourselves being handed a little gold coin from the universe, new opportunity, perhaps in career, in money, and wealth, and finances. But Pentacles is also just the material world, like the physical, tangible. So it doesn't always have to be money related. It could just be, something physically being offered to you, just something in that material realm. And it's the Ace, it's the start of something. So we love to see it. All right, so we have in the position of past, we have the devil and the Three of Wands here. The devil again is our shadow self. I'm gonna have to cover this because there are, a little bit of nudity on there, and I don't want to get flagged by the guidelines on YouTube, but this is the devil. The devil is the reversed image of the lovers. Now in the lovers, it's an angel that is behind the two lovers, and in the devil, it is the devil, and the lovers are chained to the devil. This is also the card of Capricorn. The devil is the ties that bind, the shadow self, the temptations, those things that are kind of keeping you chained back. And then we have the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is a delay. And this is the Two of Wands. I'm just kidding. This is a Two of Wands. Look, Mercury retrograde and eclipse season is coming through. This is a Two of Wands. Two and Three of Wands are very similar cards. This is the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands, Three of Wands is the delay. The Two of Wands is kind of the stepping point after the Ace of Wands, after you have that new idea, that new passion, that new mission, that new wand handed to you. This is the infinite possibilities that can kind of come after. This is the, if the Ace of Wands is kind of like the stick to build our fire, the wand to build our fire, the Two of Wands is the spark that gets that fire going. Now you can see that this person is literally looking kind of over a balcony and they have the world in their hands. And it is, when I kind of look at it in my spread, the card is facing backwards. It's not facing towards the front, like moving through because this is in the position of past. Like, it's not looking towards the present or the future. It's looking backwards. And I think what this is kind of saying, and I also, again, kind of intuitively got the Three of Wands, which is a delay. I think we are feeling kind of held back because of the shadow self, because of that devil energy. We're kind of paused and on that cliff, kind of looking over, and we have the world in our hands and we have all these possibilities, but what is kind of stopping us from doing it? What is kind of stopping us from maybe moving forward instead of, again, this card is kind of turned around looking back? What is stopping us from looking forward? And that's the devil energy. And that's exactly what we have to release under this full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, is the devil energy. Endings, closures, transformations, sudden changes. Again, eclipses are portals that put you where you need to be. And what do you not need is that devil energy, the bondages, the ties that bind, your unhealthy coping mechanisms, your shadow self. And it's not, because everyone has a shadow. You're never going to get rid of your shadow. You have to make peace with your shadow. And the ties that bind are the kind of places where you have not made peace with that shadow, with past traumas and, unhealthy coping mechanisms. So we need to let go of those things if we want to move forward. Now, in the position of present, we have the 10 of Swords and the 4 of Wands. This is reminding me of the quote from, I think it's Prisoner of Azkaban. Again, F.J.K. Rowling, she who must not be named, but I'm just making this reference. And when Ron is like, well, you're going to be suffering, but you're going to be happy about it. That's kind of the vibe of this retrograde and eclipse season, is we're kind of feeling this, like, burnt out. We feel like we have all those swords in our back, just like literally dead. I saw this card represented in meme form as the dog with the cup and everything's on fire, and he's like, this is fine. I've seen that as the 10 of Swords, and that's kind of the vibe. It's like everything's on fire around us. We are clearly at our limit, and we're like, this is fine. But we also have the 4 of Wands, which is a wonderful, happy card of foundation and stability and celebration, and these people are getting married and like balance, right? We have the 2 wands on either side, and it's like both can exist at the same time, right? I think a lot of the time we will not cut ourselves some slack from when we're kind of going through it, but then there's like things that are happening in our lives that we're happy about, and we almost feel guilty because we're like, I shouldn't feel happy because I'm going through this and this is bad, but I still feel happy because there are happy things happening in my life. Both can exist at the same time. Both of these energies can be happening at the same time. You can be overwhelmed and done and just like over some stuff, and you can also be happy about other things. And, I think that we have to kind of embrace that nature of duality. Again, like I was saying about the shadow self, like we all have a shadow. Every human being on the planet does. We have to embrace that there is both light and dark. And moving forward into the future, we have the High Priestess and the 4 of Pentacles. And you can see the duality right here on those 2 pillars, white and black pillars. The High Priestess is the card of following your intuition. And that kind of dual nature, right? The black and the white, and the shadow and the higher self kind of balanced. And that is the only place where you're going to find the ability to trust your intuition is when you're kind of balancing those two energies. Because what stops us from following our intuition? Past traumas, the devil energy, the shadow self being like, this happened in the past, and if you follow your heart, this is going to happen again in the future. Like the trauma, it's like the trauma talking, not your intuition. The intuition is blocked by imbalance, is blocked by too much into the shadow, but also too much into the light. Because, if you're like really endlessly super toxic positivity, that's not getting us anywhere, right? It's balance. If we want to trust our intuition and move forward, we have to move forward from a place of understanding both our light and our dark. So with the High Priestess is the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is also the scarcity mindset. You can see here that this dude is kind of hoarding all of his pentacles and keeping them very close to the belt. It can also be a card of checks and balances and like kind of making sure your finances are in balance, but it is also keeping too tight of a hold on your purse strings, as they would say, like keeping, hoarding your money or hoarding your energy or hoarding anything because you're afraid of the lack, you're afraid of the scarcity. And that's not being in an abundance mindset. And that's kind of the difference between the Four of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. Is the Four of Wands is abundant, happy, balanced, stable foundation. Like the foundation is so strong that it's not going to be kind of shaken by that scarcity mindset of not having enough. Like Four of Wands, you have enough, everything is balanced. Four of Pentacles, you don't, and again, it's kind of also that trauma mindset of like, well, I've lost stuff in the past, so I'm going to hold it very tightly into my chest and not let go. Again, I think this is kind of what's blocking our intuition. But at the beginning of the reading, we had the Six of Wands kind of fly out. And this is the card of victory, of riding into victory. And I think if we can kind of master this energy of mastering the shadow, kind of letting go of that scarcity mindset, embracing the duality of like, it sounds funny, but like you could be happy and sad at the same time. You can be happy about something, sad about others, right? Embracing that kind of dual nature, I think that's where we're going to find that we can trust our intuition and find our balance under this eclipse. So, it's a doozy, friends. Now we're going to get into our oracle deck, see what other messages we need to hear. I literally didn't even shuffle that time, like the decks did not mesh together. It is a doozy, friends. I like to say, if you watch Whose Line Is It Anyways, everything's made up and the points don't matter during retrograde and eclipse season. It is very just all over the place, and things that you just like would not have expected to happen. You're like, why is this happening? What other messages do we need to hear? There is fully a card that is upside down. Where did you go? Am I imagining things? There it is. So there's a card that is turned around right there. That's the back of the card. We're going to see who that is all right, invisibility mode. Invisibility mode. This card is like, you need to kind of go dark, go invisible, and work on yourself. And nobody needs to know like what you're doing. Keep it quiet. Like you don't have to tell everyone what you're doing all the time. You can kind of enter into that invisibility mode to heal, right? All right, lots of cards just flew out. We're going to take all of them because I'm like, please, somebody help me. All right, we literally had like 9 cards fly out, so we're just gonna go ahead and take these kind of as chunks here. So the first 3 that flew out were invisibility mode, interdependence. You can see the birds are in the crocodile's mouth, and the software update. So we have to kind of go invisible. We have to kind of go inward, work on our own stuff, work in silence, as they say, kind of go invisible for a little bit, to work on this dual nature and to have that software update. Again, if we're existing in that 10 of Swords and the Devil energy and that 4 of Pentacles energy, we need to update it. We need to update it to the abundance mindset, to working through our limiting beliefs and working through our traumas. Interdependence is a card of, so the birds sit in the alligator's mouth and eat the stuff. They like pick the alligator's cleat. teeth clean. I was saying teeth and clean. They pick the alligator's teeth clean, and in return, the alligator does not eat them. So the birds get fed, the alligator gets their teeth cleaned. And that is what interdependence is like, again, the balance between light and shadow, the kind of understanding that there has to be, you have to kind of be able to, I feel like this is us kind of operating with our shadow in a healthy way instead of like codependence or unhealthy coping mechanisms. Interdependence is knowing that there is a shadow and knowing that we can kind of work with it instead of working against it. And it is only then that we will have that software update to kind of upgrade to the high priestess, to the kind of trusting our intuition level. In the next kind of chunk of cards that flew out, this is not how the story ends. An offering and break the cycle. This is not how the story ends. Pretty straightforward. Like, this is not your ending. Like, if you're feeling kind of stuck in this devil energy, this, codependence, toxicity, scarcity, this is not how the story ends. This is not the ending. If you were looking for a sign, this is it. That's what an offering is. It's a sign from the universe. I'm pretty sure in the guidebook, that is what it says. It even has the feather on the guidebook. Let me just double check. I know it says something good. Let's see here. Could I not even find it? Please hold, my friends. Am I like losing my mind here? Yeah, it literally says, if you're looking for a sign, this is it, as the description for this card. So if you came into this reading being like, I need a sign to do something, there you have it, my friends. The last message in that kind of chunk is break the cycle. So, this is not how it's ending. You know what you need to do, because, a lot of the times when we're like dealing with that devil energy, we're dealing with some type of situation that we don't want to deal with. We're like, universe, just give me a sign. Tell me what I need to do. When we like fully know what we need to do, this is your sign that you need to do it, because this is not how your story ends. You need to break that toxic cycle and move forward. And then kind of as we're moving forward, we have a reminder here to drink water, stay hydrated. If you're watching this with me right now, go ahead and take a drink if you have your water nearby. Come back down to earth and shapeshifter. The shapeshifter, again, is that dual nature. We can shapeshift. You can be multiple things at once. You can change into different things to like deal with, you can be a shapeshifter during this time of chaos and kind of put on different hats to deal with different things. Drink your water. So stay hydrated, stay on top of that physical body, and stay grounded. Come back down to earth. With the retrogrades and eclipse, it is a little bit of chaos. It is very important to get grounded during this time. Now, the last card I will mention at the bottom of the deck is you wished for this. At some point, where you are right now is where you once wished that you were. And sometimes we get something that we really wanted, or we get to somewhere that like we have worked really hard to get. We don't even realize that we're there. We're like, huh? What? I accomplished something? No, I usually just keep going and hitting those goals and just going. You wished for this. At some point or another in the past, you wish to be right here where you are. And then something else I've noticed is that a lot of the times when we get successful or we get what we want, or we kind of like have healed, or we think we've healed that trauma from the past and we feel like we've moved forward, then suddenly we're like, we've like accomplished something, or we're like in the thing that we once wished for, and then we're like, oh my gosh, this is actually really scary, or this is like a lot, this is maybe retriggering some of that old stuff. I know I wished for this, but suddenly like we're faced with kind of like, oh my God, you did wish for this, I have it. And then we start to freak out. It's like the concept of, a lot of people will say that they are afraid of failure, so that's why they don't try something new, when in reality, most people are afraid of success. Because being successful means you actually have to do what you said you were going to do. You have to face your limiting beliefs. You have to like do the work. And a lot of the times we have this core limiting belief that we don't deserve it, that we don't deserve success. We don't deserve XYZ. And so also with the you wished for this, maybe you're feeling kind of deep down that you don't deserve what you wished for, what you have. And this all again stems from that scarcity mindset, that devil energy. So my friends, work through that devil energy, let go what no longer serves you. And remember that sometimes what we have to let go of once served us once. It once served a purpose. Maybe it was actually something happy. Maybe it was a coping mechanism that helped us deal with, trauma, but it has no purpose anymore. You don't need it anymore. You might have needed it at one time. We don't need it anymore. So all this being said, pretty straightforward, very intense message, but I like it. It's scary, but we know what we need to do. I hope that this resonates with you, my friends. I do have a yoga class for this full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio as well. I also just released a 30-day Witchcraft and Wellness Challenge ebook. It is 30 days of small little rituals you can do for witchcraft and wellness. If you're a beginner witch, it's a great place to start out. I will put the link in the description box. You can also get it as part of a witchcraft and wellness bundle with all of the courses I offer. So I have yoga magic, crystal magic yoga, moon magic yoga, chakra magic yoga, mindful eating, self-love, all kinds of courses, plus that 21, or my words are so messed up today, y'all. Not 21 days, 30-day challenge, witchcraft and wellness ebook. You can get that all in one bundle for half off. And that's half off the prices that my courses normally are. So very crazy deal. Again, I have a lot of offerings. I'll put them all in the description box below. Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, save, share, all those things. I hope you have a wonderful and safe full moon lunar eclipse, and I will see you all next time.